and welcome back to my channel, Jennifer and Diamonds. I am Jennifer. If you are new here, welcome on in and I hope you enjoy your stay. So today we are doing a WIP and Chat. If you are unsure what that is, WIP stands for work in progress. And then chat is just, I'm going to chat about my week. You can chat down in the comments if you want to tell me how your week went. My week, let me tell you guys, my week was an interesting one. We'll get into that. I'm gonna tell you stuff that I'm working with today. So my my containers are from Temu. They're just little containers. This one's empty, but little containers that you can just pop open, sort of. Not as easy as that sometimes. You'll see. There we go. So there's that. The pen that I have here is also from Temu. It has a single placer, and then I have a three diamond multi-placer. They were like a rose gold color, so I thought that was pretty fun. And it comes with a whole bunch of different multi-placers and straighteners and stuff like that as well. I'm just going to use the wax that I'm using. It's just the wax that came with this kit. This is just a tray from my Make Market kit that I just finished not that long ago. And then this is just one of the pens that come with this kit, actually, from Dreamer Designs. And actually the reason why I use this one is I had a hard time, because this is the first kit I had that had ABs in it. And I was having a hard time placing them because when I had wax, it would just pull the wax out when I placed it. And then on the other end, I'm using putty from, what is it called? Creations Morin. It's a shop, an Etsy shop that's, the person is located in Quebec here in Canada. She sent me some, a sample of her putty because she just got into using putty. So, just a second here. So when I started started actually having ABs, when I was using this, they would pull the wax out, actually pull it out of just the normal pen that you get for like every kit, and then it would really, the ABs would really stick to the putty. So I was super frustrated with that. So I mentioned it to a friend that I found out that they diamond paint. I have a friend on Facebook. I found out they are diamond painting. They suggested like having a paper towel, a damp paper towel, and then getting your putty or your wax a little bit damp. And that kind of worked, but I was still having problems. And then I was watching somebody's unboxing and they said that this was an AB pen, like this tip was for ABs, and I'm like, wait, what? And sure enough, when I started using this tip for ABs, not a problem. Like there's a little tiny bit of wax, but the hole in it is a lot smaller than even just a regular tip single placer. And yes, this is this is the tip to use apparently for ABs, because I have absolutely no problem anymore. So that's why I have this one here. And then I have this little cover minder, my first ever cover minder. And this one I got also from Temu. He's so adorable with this little thing. He's so cute. But he's just, I don't have anything to actually hold back, but they will be here to keep me company. So if you notice, there's like numbers and names and stuff on my section, and the reason for that is I sectioned this off into 9 sections, and I made a little like a pan over video thing, and I asked people on TikTok to pick a number, and then the order that people pick them is the order that I'm doing the sections. As I go through this diamond painting. So it's been pretty fun. So I've been making videos 1 a day, and it's just a sped up video, basically me doing the section. So that's why there's numbers here. So we're doing this section here tonight. So we'll open that up. I already cut it. I just need to take the thing off here. And I just this is parchment paper, non-stick parchment paper. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. 1 second here. I'll take my glasses off because I find it easier to do this without my glasses on. And we will get a color going here, and then we'll start talking about my crazy week. It didn't start off crazy, but it definitely, by the middle of the week, it got crazy. So let's start with the beginning of the week. So like I mentioned before, I filmed these WIP and Chats on Saturday nights, and then I post them on Sunday mornings. So so you got to hear on the last WIP and Chat up to Saturday. So Saturday we dropped my daughter off with my parents, so she could, the plan was for her to spend the week with my parents. Didn't quite work out that way though. And the first indication that it was not going to be the full week was actually when I got home from dropping her off. I was talking to my dad, and he said, yeah, your uncle is not having a great day. He originally told me when I dropped her off, oh yeah, your uncle's having a really good day. I mentioned this last week. My uncle is, just a second. My uncle has been fighting terminal brain cancer for over a year, and yeah, so, and my grandmother, my 85-year-old grandmother, basically is looking after him at the moment, or was looking after him. So yeah, so when I first talked to my dad, he's like, oh yeah, he's having a really good day. But when I got home, I was talking to my dad on the phone. He's like, yeah, your uncle's not doing so good, and your grandmother had to bring him to the hospital. So yeah, that was the first indication that it was, my daughter was not going to be spending the full week there. So my uncle ended up being in the hospital at that time a little bit, and then like I think my mom. Okay, so they were in the hospital. I think they went to the hospital for a little bit. They sent him home after a little while, but then after a few hours, he ended up going back to the hospital in the middle of the night, and my grandma was with him, and then, but it was like the middle of the night, and I think in the morning, my dad drove my mom to go check on my grandma and like try to get her to go home and have some rest. And so she did that, and like long story short, like my dad was messaging me and saying, you know, telling me everything, like basically like My uncle has been in the hospital ever since the second time that he went back to the hospital. He's still in the hospital. They're trying to convince my grandmother to put him in hospice care because, like I said, she's 85. She cannot look after him. It's just too much for her. And he's not exactly in the best of moods. Actually, the nurses apparently had to tell him that he needed to start behaving because he was not being very nice to him. Even though he is terminal, doesn't mean he has to be mean. So, yeah, so they're trying to convince her to put her in hospice care because she's 85. She can't be, like, if he falls, she can't, help him up. She's 85 years old. So yeah, so we knew pretty much early in the week that my daughter would not be spending the whole week there. We arranged that on Wednesday we would meet at the Blue Canoe, basically halfway point between my house and my parents' house, to pick her up, because my mom needed to help my grandma, and things weren't going well with my uncle. So that's what we ended up doing. So yeah, so she did get to see a couple movies with my parents. They went and saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, and they saw, my mom and my daughter got to see the Barbie movie because my dad had no desire whatsoever to see. I don't think my dad went to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles either. It was just basically my mom and my daughter that went to the movies. So yeah, so that was pretty much the first half of the week. Well, with my daughter anyway. On Sunday for the channel, I did a bunch of stuff. Well, like for my diamond painting stuff, I finished my Make Market kit. I finished that on Sunday. Yes, and then I kitted up this current kit, which is a Dreamer Designs kit. It's Twisted Blossom. This one is just a 30 by 30 centimeter kit. It's a very small one. That's why I'm almost finished. I have this section that I'm working on right now, and then I have 2 other sections. So I finished off my Make a Market kit. I de-kitted it, and then I kitted up this one on Sunday. And then I also made a video that's already up if you want to go check it out, of post review of the Make Market kit. I'll put a link below for that. So if you want to check that out or you haven't seen it yet. So that was my Sunday. On Monday was delivery day. So I had 3 deliveries that day, and I don't usually have a lot of deliveries. Usually the only delivery I get on Monday is my my Hello Fresh, which is my meal plan thing that I get every week, which I love that thing. I don't have to think about meals. I just take out a bag and make the meal. I've talked about that before. So I had that one on Monday, plus I had 2 other shipments. So I had bought some stuff from Temu, some diamond painting things, mostly accessories, which was this pen, this cover minder, the storage kit. Then I also got some wax, but different colored wax, and then I also got a basically like an old master's diamond painting kit. It's a Van Gogh Starry Nights kit. It's just a tiny little one. It won't take very long. Probably I could probably get it out in a couple days or so, which is what I'm planning to do at the end of well, next month, I think. So yeah, so I had that, and then I also ordered, I was having problems with my webcam that I use for taping these videos, and so I ordered a new webcam and an actual arm that holds my webcam, because before I basically had an arm that was made for a mic, to hold onto a mic. I would just kind of like jerry-rig that so I could basically hung, kind of like draped it over the webcam over, and it was just like hanging there. So now it's actually attached to something, and it's a little bit lower than the other arm, but it works, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, so on Monday I got all these deliveries. It was like delivery heaven. It was pretty fun getting all these deliveries. Just trying to see. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to find if there's any more use. I don't know how many times I've done this, and I'm like, okay, I think I got all the like U's or something, and then I move on to another color, and then all of a sudden they pop up somewhere. Okay, I think maybe I got them all this time. Maybe. So originally when I actually kit up this kit, I didn't have this storage system that I got from Temu. So I had just kitted it up in my art dot kit, but there is 37 colors in this, and I only have 30 bottles in my art dot thing. So I had like 7 colors in baggies, and when I did my make market kit, I had some colors in baggies, and it wasn't that bad, but these ones were a little bit more staticky. So I should show you when I get to the AB. That is still super staticky. Like they're clumped together, some of them. So yeah, so I decided to put them in, transfer them over to this storage system I got from Art Dot. At first I wasn't sure about it because I was having problems opening and closing the containers, but it does seem to have gotten better. I think maybe you just needed to like work because they were stiff, and now they're not so stiff anymore because I've opened and closed them a couple times. So that's good. So yeah, so Monday, like I said, was delivery day. Most of it came in the morning. I got my Amazon package, which is where I got the new webcam and the arm. And then my HelloFresh came nice and early. I was worried that it was going to come somewhat late again because the previous 2 weeks it came closer to supper time, which is annoying because I'm like I want my food here now so I can make supper on time. So it did show up actually before lunch this week, so that was nice. And then my my Temu stuff came in through Canada Post, so that was in my post box. So my husband got that on his way home. He checks the mail, which is just down the street in our box. He checks it on his way home. So when he checked it, it was in there, and I got to open it. Well, I did an unboxing, which if I didn't mention before, I'll link below. So if you want to check out what I got from, although you see most of it here, the pen, the cover minder, and the case. But if you want to check it out, I will link that below as well. And then let's see, Tuesday, what do we do on Tuesday? Oh, I decided to order another thing from Temu. I wanted to get a ring light to try to brighten up my videos, and they say you can get better quality of picture if you have better lighting, so I'm hoping that helps a little bit. So I ordered that, and that's another. So when I ordered from Temu the first time, I ordered it like the beginning of a long weekend. So I figured the reason why it took so long for it to go from, because basically you order and then like the next day you'll get an email saying your order has been shipped, and then here's your tracking number, but it actually hasn't been shipped. It's just been, the label has been made. Then you'll get another, like when you check it, it'll finally get updated by Canada Post saying, okay, we received this package, it's on its way, kind of thing, and then, normal tracking after that. And the reason why I thought it took so long for it to get to that point last time was because it was a long weekend. Because it took a few days before it went from, okay, the person has made the tracking, or the company has made the tracking, or not the tracking, the label, to, okay, we have the package. But no, I learned, apparently, this is just a Temu thing, that it takes forever from it to go from, okay, they made the label and now we have it. Because I ordered the ring light and then one other thing just to get the free shipping, because you have to have at least $15 to get free shipping with Temu. So, and the ring light wasn't that expensive. So yeah, I ordered on Tuesday. Wednesday, I got an email saying, Wednesday early in the morning, I got an email saying, okay, it's been shipped. Lie. It's just that the label has been made, basically. And it's been like that all week. And it's still, although I didn't check just before recording here, but last I checked, not that long ago, it was still nothing. So, I mean, it's still saying it's supposed to, like, estimated delivery date is this coming Monday. That's not happening because Canada Post doesn't even have the package in hand yet, according to the tracking. So, it's not going to get here probably until end of next week, unless for somehow it's just missed scans constantly for this package or something. I don't know. It's just, I'm not expecting it till the end of next week now. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday is where my week got interesting. So Wednesday, like I mentioned earlier, was the day that we decided we were going to meet my parents to pick up my daughter, to cut their trip short. And we did that. We, after work on Wednesday, we got on the vehicle and drove like an hour and a half to go get my daughter. And then we drove back. And everything was fine. Everything went fine with that. We got home. We, did our normal things we do in the evening. And we went to bed. I think we went to, like, my husband and I went to bed 10:30, 11. And then, just after midnight, my dog was with us in bed. Sometimes he sleeps with us in bed. Not so much in the summer right now, because it was super hot, but it's been cooling down. So we've been letting him come in our room, because it gets pretty hot in our room, and we just felt bad for him. He didn't want to be in there when it was super hot. So we were letting him just like sleep downstairs where it was a little bit cooler. But on that night, actually, thankfully, he slept in our room. Just after midnight, we got woken up by the dog. And at first I thought he was having like a nightmare. You know how dogs get kind of jerky, like because they're like running in their sleep or stuff like that. But no, he was sitting up, and then it was just acting really weird, like jerky and stuff. And then we turned the light on and he was twitching like crazy, and it scared the living crap out of me. I was in tears because I'm like, what is wrong with him? Like he was sitting up, like he had like he was on his like front paws and he was sitting up, but he was like jerking and his head was going like to the side and back towards his back, and like his like when you're looking at his eyes, they were like all over the place. And like we kept on calling his name, and it just like because we thought maybe he's still kind of asleep or something, and then we realized no, there is something seriously wrong. Like it's, oh my god, I'm just right now I'm just starting to like tear up just thinking about it because it was terrifying. So my husband's like, okay, get dressed, we're gonna take him to the emergency vet. Like he had to like almost yell at me because I was like freaking out because I'm like, what is wrong with him? Like I don't understand what's going on. So I got dressed, and then my husband's like running downstairs and coming back up, and my daughter came out and she's like, what's going on? And we're like, I don't know, like there's something wrong with Finn, which is our dog. We don't know what's going on. My husband thought he was having a seizure, but I mean, I thought maybe it is because I don't know. I've never seen a seizure in a dog, but you know, thinking back on it, it's like, no, it wasn't a seizure because a seizure, he wouldn't be sitting up. So we couldn't get him off, like, he couldn't get him to get off the bed. So my husband had to carry him downstairs. And our dog is chunky and he is heavy. So we picked him up and brought him downstairs to the couch and then so we could put shoes on. I was trying to comfort the dog because again, he's still twitching. My daughter and I are both trying to comfort him and stuff, and you know, telling him we're gonna get you some help and we're gonna go to the bed, and trying to talk to him, and I'm trying to get my stuff on, and we got in the vehicle. We left our daughter here. She's 15, so we left her here. Although she ended up getting a friend, even though it was after midnight. She got a friend contacted a friend, and her mom brought her over. So she had a friend here while we were at the vet. So we get, and then again, there is stairs to go from my front door down to where our vehicle is in the driveway. There's like half a dozen steps. So my husband again had to pick up the dog. And again, this dog is not light. He is heavy. He's like probably 100 pounds. So he gets him into the vehicle after some struggling. And then I sat in the back seat with him, and I'm hugging him and, you know, talking to him and telling him, okay, we're getting you some help. We're going to the vet. We're going to get some help. And he's still twitching. And my husband's asking me every once in a while, like, how is he doing? And I'm like, he's still the same. Like, it seemed to get a little better, but not much. And he was still twitching. And I didn't find out till later, but my husband was actually kind of speeding, and thankfully it was in the middle of the night, so there wasn't like anybody really on the road, because he was speeding, and when he would get to like a stop sign, he would kind of not exactly stop. He would slow down and look, but he wasn't really stopping. So the emergency vet is in a town that's like, we have, where I live, there's like the city where we are, and then like there's these two towns that are like super close to where we are. So the emergency vet is actually not in our city, it's in the town next to us. So we get there, and he pulls up to the door, where like in front of the door to go in, and because it's so late, they have to buzz you in. So he gets out and he goes to the door while I'm still in the vehicle with my dog. It sounds like somebody's setting off fireworks. There must be some fireworks going on. It might be because here they actually have Pride in August, and it might have to do with that. But anyway, so he goes in. He goes to the door to try to get buzzed in. He finally gets buzzed in, and then he goes to the desk, and I'm watching, and I'm like, why is he taking so long? Like it's taken a while. And then he comes out with two female vet techs, and they have like a metal gurney type thing. He must have told them like our dog needs help and he's really heavy, and so they brought out a metal gurney thing to put the dog on. So again, we had to struggle to get him out because it's not conducive. Our vehicle is not conducive to reaching in and putting somebody in or something big in the back seat and vice versa. So he struggled, and he got him out, put him on there, and then he passes me the key to the vehicle and says, just go park over there. Like, it was literally just right there where the parking lot was. So I parked, and I'm watching, and there's still like, it's like you go through these doors and then there's like a section and then another door, and you have to be buzzed in. And I'm watching, and I'm like, they're still standing there. And I'm like, are they waiting for me? And then I get there and I realize, no, this emergency vet it's an emergency vet, so they're not super busy in the middle of the night, so they don't have a lot of people on. So they had these two people come out with like the two vet techs to come out with the gurney. And they were supposed to be on the front desk, the ones buzzing people in, and so they had nobody. They were hitting the buzzer, but nobody was coming, and they were getting frustrated. They're like, "This is ridiculous! Like, there's people in the back, and like, I understand that there's because they did have other animals in the back that they were looking after." She's like, "But we have like a sick animal out here, like I don't." And she was leaning on the buzzer. I don't understand why nobody came. Like, it would be freaking annoying, that noise going off. But eventually she's like, one of them turns to the other and is like, okay, I think it's about time. You just give me your key and I'll run back and come in through the back and then come out front. And that's what she ended up having to do. It was kind of ridiculous. So we finally get in and they take him back, and they said, okay, a few minutes later they come out and they tell us, okay, we got him hooked up to a catheter and an IV to get him like settled a bit, and the doctor's going to take a look at him, and someone will come out and talk to you. It might be a little while because we have other patients back there, but as soon as they can, blah blah blah. So in total, we were there a couple hours. Not so waiting all the whole time, but like, because they were doing some stuff and they were, whatever. So we finally talked to the doctor, the actual vet, not just the vet tech. And he got some information about like what the timeline was, what was happening, blah 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 blah. And at first they thought, they wanted to do a bunch of tests, so he ended up spending the night. They weren't exactly sure what was going on because there was some things that it could be, but they're like, usually this doesn't happen in younger dogs because my dog's only like 3.5. He'll be 4 in October. So he's not that old, and they didn't understand. Like, I think that then is when I realized he wasn't having a seizure, because the questions he was asking, he's like, so he did get up, like he wasn't lying there. I'm like, no, like he was up on his front paws and blah blah blah. So yeah, so he ended up spending the night, because they wanted to run some tests and keep an eye on him. Then thank God we have pet insurance. If you have a pet and you can get pet insurance, get pet insurance. Because, oh my God, even just the bill that we saw the first night, it was like $1,500. And that was for, they wanted to do a blood test and then his stay and, what all it entails for him to stay overnight. It was crazy. We did have to put a deposit down because we didn't have our insurance information at the time, because that was the last thing on our mind when we were getting out the door, was making sure we had the information with us, which we did not. So my husband had to email them the information when we got home. So he spent the night. And then another vet, because by the morning there was another vet on call. Basically, the overnight vet was gone. She called and she gave me an update, and she was going all like, there was a lot of information she was giving me, and it was kind of confusing about what's going on. So she's like, okay, we have these options to figure out exactly what's going on. And she's like, there's some cheaper ways, and then there is expensive ways. And the expensive way obviously is the better way because it can get more reliable information. The expensive way was a CT scan. She did say he was doing better, and stuff like that. And so a CT scan was going to cost $3,000. And I'm like, okay. So I said, we have pet insurance. And I told her what pet insurance we have, because there is a couple different ones. And I said, do they usually cover stuff like this? And she's like, usually, she's like, unless there's a history of certain things with your dog, then they might not cover it. She's like, the best option is to call them and, ask them. So originally what we wanted to happen is my husband was at work and I work from home. So when she called, I thought she had said that my husband was also on the line. And then she went on to talk about what was going on. And then I realized my husband's not there, because if my husband was there, he would have said something, and I didn't hear anything. So like halfway through her explaining all this stuff, which was so much information, I realized he's not on the phone. So while I'm talking to her, I'm messaging my husband and I'm explaining, I thought she said that you're on the phone, but I realized you're not. And he said, well, call me. And by this time she was pretty much done. So I was jotting down notes about what she was saying. So I said, well, you call me. So he called me and I tried to explain. I said, because I when I was talking to her, she's like, what would you like to do? They wanted to do another blood test because his platelets were low, so they wanted to do this other blood test to see what was going on with that. That was the cheapest of it. It was $100 and some. And then they need to know if we wanted to do an X-ray, which was a few $100, or did we want to do the CT scan, which was $3,000. And I said, well, I need to talk to my husband. She's like, okay, no problem. She's like, you can call me back. And this vet loves to say, you can call us back. But you know what happens when you call? You get voicemail. It's frustrating. So, it's just they're always so short-staffed. Even if it's not in the middle of the night. So, like I said, I talked to my husband, explained to him what I remembered of the conversation, the notes that I took, and I said, you can call her back, and blah, blah, blah. So it took a while before he got through to be able to talk to her, like a couple hours. But while he was waiting to be able to talk to her, he talked to our pet insurance company, and they got the pre-approval paperwork on the go for that to get it approved for the CT scan, which they ended up approving. They didn't cover it all, but they covered a lot of it. So he ended up, he eventually was able to talk to the actual vet again, and she explained, more detail of what was going on, and they decided to do this CT scan. One of the reasons why they wanted to do the blood test thing about his platelets was she had asked me, is there any rat poison that he might have gotten into, because it's one of the causes with what they were seeing. And I'm like, no, we don't have any rat problems. Where we live, there is a rat problem in the city. I did mention, I said, my neighbor behind us, I know last summer had a rat problem. I said, but there's a gap. Like, our yard is fenced and their yard is fenced, but there's actual gap between their fence and ours, like there's like probably 3 feet in between, maybe 2-3 feet, something like that. I said, so I can't, even if they used rat poison, which I'm not sure they did, I can't see him getting into it anyway. So it turned out it wasn't that. They want us to get him tested in like a few weeks again for his platelets to see how they're doing. So it wasn't. They did notice because we did do the blood testing, and from what they could see, it wasn't a rat poison issue, thankfully. Like all we could think is like, did somebody poison our dog or what? So they did the CT scan, and the plan was after my husband got home from work, and then after I was finished work, we were gonna go see Finn at the vets, because he has never been away from all of us at the same time ever, for any length of time. I think there was one day, maybe 10 minutes, my daughter was out and we wanted to run to the store. But that was it. Like, literally, there's always been somebody with him. So we were, we wanted to see him, see how he was doing, but also we wanted to, like I said, he's never been away from us for any length of time. So the plan was, when my husband got home, that we were going to go, but then when they did the CT scan in the evening, like around supper time, and then he had to come out of the anesthesia, and he was groggy and stuff, so we didn't get to see him until like 10:30 that night. But they were really good. They bring him into a little room and we got to hang out. They like, you can spend as much time with him as you want, and they gave us like this little buzzer, and you just buzz it, and then they'll come back and they'll take him and they'll bring him back to where they had him all set up. So we did that, and then they said, Joe, did you want to see the doctor? Because we got some of the results back. And I said, well, if you got some of the results back, sure, but we'd love to get an update from the doctor. So she said, okay, I'll send the doctor in. So long story short, what they found out was the reason why he was twitching, which it was not a seizure, it was just, it looked like twitching, was he had gotten such a bad ear infection, it gave him vertigo. And they believe the ear infection and a couple other things they noticed with him is actually a food allergy. So we are changing his food, and we are drastically cutting back what human food he's getting, because apparently with food allergies in dogs, it's usually centered around protein, so beef, chicken, whatever. So we are not going to be feeding him like tonight we had steak and potatoes for supper, and I felt so bad because he's like looking at us, because we usually get him some scraps from the table after we're finished in his bowl, and he was sitting there like such a good little boy waiting. But no, we are not doing that anymore, because it was a very expensive vet trip. So he spent 2 nights at the vets. He had a CT scan, a couple different blood test things. He is currently on 6 different meds plus ear drops to get this infection under control. He is so much better. He came home yesterday. He is so much better. He has a little bit of a wobble when he walks once in a while from the vertigo, but like he is not twitching or anything. Thankfully, like I said, that freaked me out when that happened in the middle of the night. So he's doing a lot better now. So between everything and out-of-pocket costs for this ear infection caused by food allergy, apparently. It's like $2,000 out of pocket. Everything else was covered by insurance. So thank God for insurance, and thank God we have the ability to be able to pay that. I mean, not ideal, that's for sure. I mean, $2,000 could go towards other stuff, but yeah, that was a crazy week with the dog. So yeah, so thankfully he is home. He's gotten lots of loving, lots of hugs, lots of pets, lots of attention since he's gotten home, because it was so sad not having him here. Like, I don't know how many times I would go downstairs to the main level, and he likes to either sleep by the front door or he sleeps on the couch. And I don't know how many times I would look over to the couch expecting to see him there, and he wasn't there. It was hard not having him there. Yeah. So he's home, he's doing well. He just regularly needs his meds. They actually, which is really nice, especially since he has so many meds. Like I said, he has like 6 different meds that he's taking. So they sent us home with a bunch of sheets, because it's like 7 days worth. And they basically have like a timetable, and they circle the hours, and like they have a list on one side of all the meds, and then a time on the top, and they circle like different boxes to say, okay, these are the meds he needs to take at these times, and all you have to do is go through and check, and then check them off when he's taken them at the times that he's supposed to. Thankfully, I was just, yeah, it's gonna be a crazy few days getting him all these meds. He has to take them at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, and then there's a couple that he takes at like odd hours, like 3 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And yeah, but like I said, he is doing so much better. Let's see here. So that was everything that happened with Finn. So that was basically Wednesday, Thursday, and then he came home on Friday. So that was really the only things that happened on those days, because it was all about Finn this week, pretty much. So today is Saturday, and my husband didn't get the best of sleep, because, well, he stayed up late last night, and then we were trying to get the dog to settle, and he's still a little wobbly on his legs, like I mentioned, so he didn't really want to jump up on the bed, but he wanted to be near us, so my husband ended up bringing him back downstairs and sleeping on the couch with him. Wanted to keep an eye on him, and I didn't want to leave him alone, kind of thing. So when he came to bed, like I said, he came to bed late. It was like 3 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning, and basically I was up from that point on because I couldn't get back to sleep. I ended up watching some YouTube videos and stuff, and then when 7 o'clock came around, I go downstairs and I'm like, okay, you get to give Finn his meds, and he's like, yeah, and then I'm going to bed. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, we gave him his meds. He has his eardrops for cleaning out his ears from his infection, and then my husband went to bed, and then I didn't really do much of anything. I did some diamond painting. I listened to some YouTube things or stuff like that, and then when my husband woke up, eventually we decided to go to Costco and do our normal grocery shopping thing. Oh, another thing that happened to me this week. So on Wednesday, I picked up my daughter, right? And I was telling her I'm having problems with my phone. It's like every once in a while it'll tell me that I have no SIM card, which I do, and it usually only lasts a few seconds. But I was showing her that the back of my phone was coming off. And ever since then, when I showed her that, it totally will not recognize my SIM card. So I have to get a new phone. But because of everything that happened with Finn, because originally what we were going to do was on Thursday, we were going to go look at getting me a new cell phone. Like, we have the plan that I'm on. It's with a company called Kudo, and they have like a tab balance. So basically, you get a phone, and then you have this balance. Once you pay off the balance, you're good to go. Or you can, if you wanted to switch before that, you just need to pay off your balance, and then you can switch or whatever. So our what they call a tab has been paid off for a while. So I'd been thinking about maybe we should get a new phone anyway, so it's kind of good timing. But like I said, that was, I found out that I can use my phone if there's Wi-Fi, but I cannot use it as a phone, and I cannot use certain things on the phone because it can't connect to the network because it doesn't think I have a SIM card in there. So we were going to do that on Thursday, but then everything happened with Finn and haven't had a chance to go look at getting a new cell phone. So eventually we'll have to, I'm probably going to go tomorrow and get me a new cell phone because mine is being stupid. And then when we're out grocery shopping, like I said, there's certain things on my cell phone that do not work, and one of them is texts. So my husband got a text from my dad to say that he's like, don't worry, but I'm in the emergency room. Apparently he was having some heart problems, and so he went to the hospital. Find out later he actually drove himself to the hospital. My mom doesn't drive, because I'm like, wait a minute, because I talked to him tonight, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did you get to the hospital? Because mom doesn't drive. And he's like, oh, I drove, and then your mom took a taxi. I don't understand that. I didn't ask for an explanation. My parents can be weird sometimes. So he drove himself to the hospital, but my mom took a taxi to the hospital. Yeah. So apparently he has an AFib or something. I don't know exactly, but he said something about he now has to be on blood thinners for the rest of his life. So he's not exactly happy about that. He's like, I have to be careful and not cut myself because I'm on blood thinners. I could bleed out. And then he was talking to his sister who was a nurse. She's now retired, but she's a nurse, and reminded him, while you're on blood thinners, you can't take aspirin or Advil. And he's like, well, I'm going to have to talk to my doctor. What am I supposed to take if I have a headache? So, yeah. So my week has been crazy. Between my daughter coming home early, and then everything that happened with my dog, and then my dad apparently finding out that he has some kind of heart problem now and has to take blood thinners. And yeah, I just want this week to be over. So yeah, that was my week. How was your week? Did you have a calm week? Did you have a crazy week like mine? Did you just have an average week? Let me know in the comments how your week went. I did, once all the craziness happened this week, I decided, because my original plan was, okay, do this kit that I'm working on now, and then I have 3 other Dreamer Designs, like, snack size kits, and I was going to do them one after the other. And then I had a couple Halloween kits that I was going to do for drills and chills. And then I was like, wait a minute, because originally I wasn't going to be able to start the drills and chills canvases that I was going to do until like the middle of September, and the event starts at the beginning of September. And I'm like, all of a sudden it pops in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. And I look at because I have it written down, like, well, I have it on a calendar, basically the schedule, because I actually have all the unboxings. All the unboxings haven't come up on my, like, went live on my channel yet. 2 of them for the Dreamer Designs have gone up, but I have 2 more. Plus I have 2 Make Market Halloween kits unboxings to go up. Like I taped them a little while ago, and they're just waiting to go live because I wanted to spread them out. And I'm like, I decided to change things up. So I'm going to do this kit because I'm almost finished. Then I'm going to do the second Dreamer Designs kit that I've already done the unboxing for. The unboxing's already gone live on my channel. And then I'm going to, then the two Make Market Make Market unboxings will go up eventually, but I'm going to start the first of the Make Market Halloween kits on September 1st. It just worked out timing wise when I was rearranging things. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And I don't think I have any more S's. Oh, there's one. See, this is what happens. So yeah, so I'm going to finish this kit, which I'll finish on Tuesday. Then I'll start the second of the Dreamer Designs kits, and then I will start in on the Halloween ones, and then go back to the Dreamer Designs kits, and so on. So that is going to be a slight change. Not that you guys would have noticed because it's all kind of behind the scenes, but that's what I have decided to do. So let me see how long we've been going here. Oh yeah, it's almost an hour. So we're going to stop here. I'm gonna continue on with this sort of off camera. I'm gonna be recording myself because I need to make this into a TikTok. Because that's what I've been doing with all these things. So, but we're going to end the WIP and Chat video here. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed the WIP and Chat, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how your week went. And if you're new here and have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified of future videos. And have a good night, everyone. I will see you next time. Bye.